Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn is in focus with us. His bill to protect the justices and their families just passed the Senate this week. It heads to the House next. Senator, great to have you. I have put a fine point on the U.S. Code that specifically talks about the protection of justices and jurors. Would you please explain to our audience the difference between what Jen Psaki says at the White House lectern, people protesting, and people protesting on the personal property of a U.S. Supreme Court justice?
Well, this reminds me a little bit, Harris, of some of the scenes we saw, the protests in Seattle and other places, Portland, where the news media called this mostly peaceful protests, while the fires were blazing in the background, and obviously it was not peaceful. They're making the point that the First Amendment does protect free speech, but there is a line that you can cross, and the criminal code sets that line out, and the Department of Justice is responsible for investigating and prosecuting those crimes. And they apparently are not willing to do so because they don't want the political blowback from their progressives who want to keep people ginned up over this case, which has not yet been decided.
Talk to me, if you would, about how this can influence the case, because that's what the federal law is all about. You are not allowed to lean in on anyone, whether it's a juror, a judge at any level, not just the Supreme Court. There's a reason why they are separate and special under the law. And there's several laws that even states have for petitioning or being on the property, the personal property of people involved in legal cases. Absolutely.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Let's start with the Constitution itself. Article 3 sets out the judicial power. Federal judges are nominated by the president and then confirmed by the Senate, and they serve for life. And the reason they serve for life is because we want them insulated from political influence or coercion or threats or intimidation, the very sort of thing that you're seeing happening now displayed on our television screens. They're also, you can't reduce their pay in office. So they're designed not to become a player, but to rather be more of an umpire. And unfortunately, many of these protests are designed to make them a political player and to impugn their integrity and thus threaten their independence.
How concerned are you when you hear the group that has taken responsibility? I mean, they'll still investigate this, but they say they did it, hitting the Wisconsin anti-abortion group offices with a Molotov cocktail. They say you won't get any further warning. They're going to continue to do this. What's your level of concern at this point?
Well, it's very high, and that's why I introduced, along with Senator Coons, my colleague from Delaware, a Democrat, a bill that provides the protections for the Supreme Court justices and their families on the same basis that the Capitol Police, for example, can protect members of Congress and our families in the face of threats. But emotions are very high right now because of this unauthorized leak of a draft opinion. That needs to be investigated and will be investigated. The person who did it will be identified and held accountable. But in the meantime, this has sparked a political firestorm, and of course many Democrats are hoping this will energize their base in the November election. I think they're overreaching. I think they're crossing a line they should not cross by these threats and the actions of many of these protesters who are violating the law.
Well, look, I mean, the politics of this are something that the Democrats are going to try to hold on to. You've got the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, today holding what's called a show vote to codify Roe into law, Roe versus Wade into law. He needs 60 votes. He's not going to get that. It has no chance of passing. Schumer said this on the floor.
I ask my colleagues to think carefully about their vote, to grapple with the impact of a world without Roe, because all of us will have to answer for this vote for the rest of our time in public office. Last week's draft decision didn't come out of nowhere. It didn't materialize in a vacuum. On the contrary, it is precisely the outcome that extreme Republicans have been working towards for years.
Senator, your reaction?
Well, Senator Schumer and many in the Democratic Party embrace this idea of no limits on abortion, any time for any reason. That's not where the American people are. We've spoken out against the barbarity of partial birth abortions. I think the vast majority of Americans would say abortions for sex selection are wrong. Those that target infants with disabilities and for gender selection, those are wrong. And most European countries, actually most countries in the world, have some limits on elective abortions after about 20 weeks gestation. And but the Democrat bill invalidates all of those limitations and thus embraces abortion up to and including the time of delivery. And presumably a child that was born as a result of a botched abortion would be subject to being put to death rather than resuscitated and being cared for like any other child would be.
Senator John Cornyn of the great state of Texas, thank you for walking us through several topics today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.